All right, y'all. So, welcome back to the coffee chat. This is one of our solo episodes. This is going to be a coffee break. And today, I'm talking about something else that is near and dear to my heart that I'm also feeling the need to share with others. And it's really just talking about failing and starting over in your 30s. So, today, the conversation is going to be real. I'm gonna be vulnerable again, but I feel like this is helping my community. So of course, I want to share with y'all.
When did you realize the path you were on wasn't working?
I so this is like a continued question, right? Because I thought that I knew what I was gonna do. Like I thought I was like, okay, it's gonna go from A to B to C, and of course, talked about it last time. Getting laid off kind of let me know like maybe this isn't the path for me, and maybe I need to go about it a different way. I really think that the interview processes that I have been going through recently have really shown me to look in other areas for strength and look in other areas for ideas and finding ways to find a new path. So I definitely feel like hitting a wall is what helped me to realize like, oh, we might have to do something different that's scary and that's not safe. So I feel like that's kind of where I'm at right now on my journey.
So, how do you feel like that moment challenged your sense of identity?
Like I said, I talked about that before. I feel like I had to really figure out who I am, right? Like I had to go back to figure out what I like to do or like what my actual habits are. Once we get to a certain place in life and things are working, I don't feel like we really ever want to change again or are as open to changes that we don't feel like would be the most beneficial instantly, right? So, for instance, I journal now. Before I'm in the hustle and bustle, I'm figuring out doing everything that I feel like is important, but now I'm not finding time for those type of hobbies or those things that really like help me uncover myself as in terms of my identity or like reading or going for walks or just immersing myself in different communities that I actually appreciate versus like I'm going to networking events, I'm going to work, I'm traveling for work, I'm hanging out with my friends. Like all of those things are cool, but when you got time that other people don't have or when other people aren't available, you have to really like go back to, okay, what do I like to do? You know what I'm saying? So I think those are the things that are helping me get back to my true identity.
What scared you the most about starting over?
Oh, my age. I feel like once you get to a certain age, you always feel like you should have everything figured out, or you as a person feel like each level is not going to come with any setbacks, right? It's just going to come with more and more accomplishments, more and more accolades. You're going to accomplish all your goals, but I'm 30 something. I'm 30 something. And now to be like, I have to start over and rebrand myself right to the job market. I have to rebrand myself to people who already know me, or even just again, like finding my true identity. I think my age is one of those things that scared me in terms of being like, dang, you got to start over. You're supposed to have it all figured out by now. So that's one of the challenges I would say in terms of like not letting my ego get in the way of what is to come on the other side of starting over. Yeah.
So, that leads right into the next question. Do you feel like part of the struggle is grieving the life you thought you had by now?
I feel like, okay, zombie 1000. By 30, I had this whole life planned out. And at 30, I started over. I came to Houston. I had to make friends. I had to learn myself because I had never really been in a space of not being in survival mode. Like I'm in school, I'm in work, I'm doing all that stuff. So that was probably when I actually grieved the life that I thought I would have. We all get to 25 and think by 30, we're going to have this, this, and this. We're going to be married, we're going to have kids. So for me, once I turned 30, I was like, actually, this is my time to live. I got money. I want to travel. I'm better than I've ever been. So I think that was more or less the time frame that I started to grieve like all of those pressures that I put on myself before I turned 30. But now it's like, oh, girl, every 5 years it's gonna be hard. I feel like that's what I'm recognizing. Like every 5 years you go through a life cycle change and you get a new identity. So I feel like I'm not grieving the life I thought I had because now I have enough wisdom to be excited about the life that I'm building.
So, what was the first step you took once you know you had to reset?
Um, I mean, I feel like I went through the motions of just trying to figure out where to start, right? Because when you have so much certainty in your life, something that has been certain for so long being um uncertain, you just like, where do I even start? How do I even figure this out? Where do I even go? You know what I'm saying? Like, and your community changes. I feel like for me, my community changed in terms of the people that were relatable to me or the people that I sought after. Like it changed. So I feel like that was my first step of just like, okay, take a step back. Where do you even start with this? Because you want to do everything at once, right? We always think of these plans and then we want everything to happen at one time. But it's like, where do I start first? Yeah, that's what it is.
So, what does reinvention actually look like in practice for you?
Ooh, reinvention is amazing. I'm like so excited. So I feel like it started with my back being against the wall and just having no choice but to explore things that I was interested in, but I also felt like, or I feel like it's starting with my confidence, right? Like me actually believing in my own self and in my own dreams and in my own passions because it's easy to go to a religion for guidance, you know what I'm saying? Or for something to follow, right? It's easy to go to a job for a manual. What am I supposed to do? This is supposed to be my trajectory versus like using yourself as your life compass. I feel like having the confidence of knowing that I have all the answers was the start of my reinvention. And then again, like getting back to that self identity piece of being like, what do I like to do? What am I good at? What just comes natural to me? Or I even wrote down for myself, like, what do people compliment me the most on? Like, what do people admire about me? And it's like, oh, those are the things that I love about myself or that I do naturally. So it's like, okay, those are areas that I want to focus on and like see how I can rebrand. Yeah.
So, what has been the hardest truth you've learned about yourself in this process?
Ooh. Mm. Yeah, that I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself. I think that it's easy to have situational confidence, right? Everybody got confidence online. Everybody got confidence when they take their picture and they got on their best outfit and they doing their thing. But when you go in a room and nobody knows you, or you have a product and nobody wants to buy it, or you have a dream or a vision that nobody else sees, how do you continue to persevere and have like true confidence in your actual gift despite all of the circumstances? So I think that that was one of the things that I really learned. I'm like, you you say you believe in yourself, but you don't move like you believe in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who believed in themselves would do it and not be afraid of failure because they would know that they have always succeeded, right? Like, how can I be a top performer or I've done all these things and have all these accolades that are like attributed to me following somebody else's process or, you know, adding to somebody else's dream. But when it came to my own dreams, like I didn't have enough confidence to persevere and go after those things myself. So yeah, I didn't believe in myself. That was a hard truth. Hmm.
How do you stay motivated when others seem ahead?
Oh, I mean, I think that we all are struggling with that right now, just based off of the fact that you have so much access and people only show their highlight reels. And for me, this is another reason why, once a month I want to share my platform to actually be honest about my journey, because um you can compare yourself to somebody highlight reel. And you hear that all the time, but it is true. Like, people only post the good things. So staying motivated is hard when it's like, oh, this person got a six pack. But it's like, it took them 4 years to get that six pack. You know what I'm saying? You got to go to the gym and work on you. You know what I'm saying? And just understanding that the more, W's you get, the more small wins you get, add up to the bigger win. And I think that for me, I recognize like pushing through when I didn't want to do it, because motivation is not enough. That's not enough. Like, because I still get into places every week, right? I get nervous. Do I want to post? Do I want to do this? And it's just like, the more I don't do those things when I'm scared, that makes it harder to actually get back up on the horse, because you start to compare yourself to everybody else. Well, like, people that's really doing it post 6 times a week, or I haven't posted in 2 weeks, I can't come back, like all those different shames. And you have to just really be like, this is my life. I'm going to do it regardless of what anyone else thinks, but also doing it scared. Even when after you first commit to doing something. So, for instance, just being honest with the podcast, right? I had like 3 or 4 episodes recorded because I was just so scared. Like, I wanted to do it, but I was scared to do it. So I'm like, okay, the first thing I'm gonna do is like get a couple built up. You know what I'm saying? And as I was doing them, I'm like, yes, I love it. And then I'm scared to post it. I'm still scared to post it. Or, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like continuing to persevere and not letting your fear get in the way of what you really want. Because when you let the fear get in the way, it's going to keep holding you back versus, just persevering and being like, I posted, only 2 people liked it, but I'm going to post again next week, Yeah.
So, what has starting over taught you about the timelines and pressures to have it all by 30?
Girl, that's a joke. Having your life together by 30 is a joke. In the sense of recognizing, like, we're always figuring it out. Like, everything can be going life great in your life in one aspect, and it's gonna be one that's falling apart. It's always gonna be something that's falling apart. So just learning how to be grateful for the journey and never feeling like I have to have it all figured out or all together, even though that may be how it appears on the surface. You know what I'm saying? Just knowing that it's always going to be a diversion in the plan. There's always going to be something unexpected that happens that's going to deter you from this perfect, you know, ideal life that you have in plan. But also along the way, just being grateful for everything that you do have. You know what I'm saying? And even though it does not look the way that I thought it would look at 30 something, it looks amazing. Like, I love my life. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't want to take away from where I am right now based off of what I thought it would be, because right now it's amazing.
Can you share a moment when your reset opened an unexpected door?
Oh, I think this is the door. This is the door, but also, you want me to be 1,000% honest. Um, this is the door, but I think it opened my eyes to see like how many people truly support me in different ways, even when it's not relevant or beneficial to them. That's the door that it has really opened for me, especially in terms of being vulnerable, and asking for help, um, and just appreciating the people around me for the things that aren't glitz and glam, right? These ain't Instagram highlight reels we hear on a Sunday. Probably hungry. You know what I'm saying? Recording together. Those are the things that I feel like during this time have actually shaped, my perspective. And it's like, okay, I can trust people. I can be trusted. You know what I'm saying? I'm worthy of, people being great to me as well as like I want to be to them. So I think that's one thing that I have learned during this process. And it's grown like just like another sense of intrinsic gratitude towards the people that are around me that support me, for sure.
So, what do you think people get wrong about failure and reinvention?
Oh, I think everybody is afraid to fail. And it's like there is so much power in failing. I have this motivational like calendar or whatever, and one of the exercises was like go back to somebody that you really admire, right? So for instance, Michelle Obama, read her book. You're gonna hear about so many failures, but it's like those failures led you to the person that you are, you know. So I think that everybody's afraid to put themselves out there, whether it's dating, whether it's speaking on camera, whether it's posting content, no matter what it is. I think there's a lot of fear of being seen and being seen failing or failing at something. Whereas that's where you learn the most. My reels that were super trash to me when I first started, like I've learned so much because I was just willing to practice and put myself out there. And I think that you have to. I watch babies. Well, I have a baby that I watch, and she's learning to walk, and she fall every other step, but she just keep getting back up. And it's just like that's how it is when you fail. Like you can fail, but you can get back up and just go so much further. So I think that that's a misconception. And it's something else that people, I feel like a lot of people struggle with. And it's like everybody's afraid to be seen failing, you know, like I don't want to do it because I don't want to, it not to get no likes or not. But for me personally, I feel like as I'm doing it, people aren't even seeing my failures. That's what people also don't understand. Everybody don't even see your failures. They just see the product, and you might fail and you get better the next time. They just see your consistency. That's for me more important than how many times you fail, because each time you learn something, you might meet somebody, you might connect on something else and go a whole different way. Do it, try it. That's what I say.
So, what would you say to someone who feels like it's too late or too far behind to start again?
People get married at 80. People get degrees at 65. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my grandma, she's been an entrepreneur our whole entire life. My grandma got a job at 70. I'm like, you work? I've never seen my grandma work a job. So I just feel like it's never too late to go back to school. It's never too late to, you know what I'm saying, start that business. It's never too late to start that exercise or that lifestyle change. I start a lifestyle change every week. Keep trying, you know what I'm saying? But I think that's another thing that people get so locked in on. They don't want to be seen as a starter. It's never too late to go back to school, get a certification, do a career pivot. You've been doing something for 17 years. You got another 17 years to live, so you can always try something different. I think that's what most people are afraid to do, but that is where the magic happens. That's where the success happens. That's where you get like your passions for your $1 million businesses, right? Like we live in a society that everybody wants that get clout fast, get rich fast, get popping fast, but it's like the gold is actually in the grind. The goal is in the grind. No matter what you doing, working out, learning how to drive, learning a new language, the goal is in the grind. And that's the best part.
What fears kept creeping in as you started over, and how did you confront them?
Ooh. Honestly, I feel like fear's creeping every day. Like I am so afraid. Um, I don't know, anxiety. When Dochi made that song, somebody's watching me, it's my anxiety. Like it's so real. I feel like every day the what could go wrong creeps in, or the worst thoughts about the worst outcomes, right? Creep in or kind of stop me from wanting to pursue certain things, especially right now. I feel like I'm in a season of rejection. So putting any time or energy into something that could potentially turn around and hurt my feelings is always a fear that is present, right? I'm just like, I don't want to get too excited about something. I don't want to put too many expectations on anything. and the fear of the rejection is something that's always happening. Like I said, I feel like I'm in a season of rejection right now. So, in that same vein, I feel like I had to become comfortable with the rejection. I still will crash out, I still will cry, but I am learning not to internalize those things and not let the fear of rejection stop me from doing what I know I should be doing to get to where I'm trying to go. I think that's what I've learned the most of being like, even if they say no, I'm getting closer. I have a quote I talked about in one of my episodes, but my mentor told me like failure just means you're closer to success. And I do look back and grow from every setback. And I do feel like I'm getting closer to what success really is versus what I think that it looks like, because only God really knows the plan. I'm just trying to do my work. That's what I would say. I'm just on the ground marching. I'm trying to do my work, trying to continue to, persevere despite the roadblocks, because I feel like it's leading me into the right direction.
Can you talk about a specific moment of rejection or failure during that transition that stung the most? And what did you take from it?
Oh, ooh. Obviously, I'm going through a layoff right now. So there was an opportunity that I had vetted. I talked to the hiring manager, talked to everybody on the team, had excellent, what I thought were excellent calls with them. They gave me like a scenario. And of course, it was the week that I was going on vacation. So now I'm at this juxtaposition, right? Of being like, while I'm on vacation, am I going to be preparing for this opportunity, or am I going to enjoy myself and, um, you know what I'm saying, see where the chips fall? So I did the latter because I was in Aruba, baby. I love Aruba. So I decided to not spend my time on vacation. I don't want to take away from my trip and be like, it's not like I have the job, so why would I be working on vacation and then turn around and not get the job anyway? But long story short, I came back home, had layover after layover. Of course, I didn't get home till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Woke up, did all the prep I could, was as prepared as possible for 2 3 days, and got to the interview. And at the end, they gave me feedback that was similar to someone else who did not get the role. So I already knew, like in the moment, that I did not get the job. And that was that was like a tough one to continue with the conversation and get their feedback and listen to what they said, although I already knew like the nail was in the coffin. That was probably one of the hardest rejections that I had to face, because it was so in the moment, and I had put what I felt like was so much time and energy. I had been talking to them for like a month and a half, 2 months at that time, like met everybody, jumped through all these hoops, and in the moment on the call in real time they said that, and I'm like, I want to cry. I'm like, I want to crash out. You know what I'm saying? Because I was so disappointed that it was like instant no. But I will say I learned what I did wrong, right? I tried to prepare outside of that, but it was just like, if I wasn't ready for the opportunity, or if it wasn't mine, there was nothing I could do. So, yeah, that was a rejection that stung recently, for sure.
So, what daily habits or mindset shifts are helping you rebuild momentum right now?
I kind of talked about this in my previous one. Walking, I'm getting back into my walking. I definitely feel like your morning routine is golden. Most successful people that you know have a morning routine as well as the nighttime routine, but I feel like my morning routine is what sets me up for success each day. So waking up, getting out of bed, trying to get some type of exercise in, coming back, having things to do or something that I'm going to work on for the day, like having some type of goal for the day, are the things that make my days better, especially when you could pretty much do nothing. Those are the things that I feel like are setting me up for success. So walking, journaling, um, writing things down, writing down my ideas, having some content or something that I want to do or something that I want to learn for that day, or a list of people that I want to reach out to, like having something that I want to get accomplished for the day, whether it's even just like I'm gonna clean up my bathroom, I'm gonna cook dinner, and I'm gonna straighten up my kitchen. Like all of those things are important habits that I feel like have been helping me to keep going and to have structure, because it's easy to not. Yeah.
Who or what has been your biggest support system during this reset?
Wow. That is dang. Mm. There are so many people that I could say have been like a big support for me. Anybody that answer the phone, my auntie, number one. I feel like I call her in my darkest moments, right? So I'm not a person that's very vulnerable with everybody. I'm a yapper for sure, but I don't always like call people when I'm going through something, unless it's some dating stuff, because those are all jokes, right? But I would say my aunt, for the most part, like her, my mom, my brothers, my friends, really. But my aunt, like when after that interview, when I crashed out, oh, she was the first person I called because she just know what I've been going through. You know what I'm saying? Like anytime I'm really like having a moment, I just call her. She let me cuss and fuss. She let me cuss and fuss, and then you know what I'm saying. She kind of bring me back to my square, and she's the person who actually told me. So when I first got laid off, I feel like I was just enjoying my break. Right? I was just like, I was enjoying my break, and then as I started to get into like the interview processes, I think that I started to get into that rejection. Like that's when I started to get into that rejection. And one of the things that she encouraged me to do was like, you got all these other goals and hobbies and other things, like focus your time and attention on your content, focus your time and attention on volunteering. Like you have all these other things that you want to do. It's okay that, we know you want a job, but there are so many other things that you could also be doing during this time so that you won't be so focused on them saying no. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that was some of the best advice because it has helped me to, just stay the course on this content journey, because like none of this stuff pay off until it pays off, or you don't ever know if you got something good. So just adding this into my, I guess, my habits and my routines and all of those things, or something that I'm consistently trying to build for myself, um has also been something great that has come out of this, and it came from somebody that is a huge support, you know.
So, what do you think's been the hardest part about letting go of who you thought you'd be by now?
The hardest part is, honestly, I would say I don't think that I knew what it even took to be the person that I thought I was going to be right now. Right? Like everybody just thinks that they're amazing and they're going to be successful and they're going to be amazing at every single thing they do. But it's like, I had to realize like you don't have the emotional intelligence that you think that you have, or you don't have the leadership skills. There are ways that I needed to be groomed to even be the person that I thought I was going to be. So it was just like I had to learn what I needed to like build within myself. Though that's what I would say. 'Cause I can't even really say like I'm grieving who I thought I was gonna be. Like I'm grieving the false narrative of what it takes to actually be who I thought I was gonna be. And again, it's like it takes those habits. It takes eating right and exercising to really be successful and to be confident and to look the way you want to look and to be able to accomplish certain things. Like you have to have certain habits and routines. So yeah, I think I've grieved not thinking I could do that, or thinking that I could not do those things and still get what I wanted. You gotta do the work all the way around for who you are as a person. You gotta learn. Yeah.
If you could talk to your 25-year-old self, what would you say about timing and starting over?
You're gonna start over a lot. You're gonna start over a lot. If I talk to myself at 25, I was buying a house, in school, working jobs, you know what I'm saying? Like living a completely different life. I think that life is not linear. You are going to start over many times, and each time, for me, I feel like it's getting better every single time. So that's what I would tell myself. I would tell myself, um, thank you for the grind. Thank you for the mind, the perseverance, like all of the things that you are, doing now are just laying the seeds for your bigger goals and your bigger dreams. And God is going to show out in so many different ways, even during times of duress. So all the things that you are doing are not in vain. That's what I would tell myself.
How do you know you're not too late? What evidence are you seeing in your own journey?
Hmm. I'm seeing just like how I'm inspiring people that are before and after me. You know what I'm saying? Like you meet people that are in certain places in life and you think that it ain't not there's no value that you can bring to them or no inspiration or motivation that you can bring to them because they are successful in their own right or they've lived more life than you've lived. And I recognize that um you can bring value and inspire and motivate and share yourself with others, no matter where you are, no matter where you are in the journey. Like we all still learning and growing, and you meet, you know yo you meet people that are older. It's like, girl, I wish I was doing that at your age, or I wish I thought of that, just different things like that. So that's something that helps me to recognize that I am on the right path, for sure.
So, what advice would you give someone who feels stuck and convinced it's too late to pivot?
It's never too late. Like, I think that you have dreams and passions within yourself. Like we all have these internal goals and aspirations. And some of them, if you try and go to the NBA, listen, that might be over for you, but you might be able to, coach, some type of team. Like, I think that you should just always explore your passions and never give up on what lights the fire within you or the things that you do that bring you genuine joy. Like, we all have things that bring us genuine joy. We just have to make money, so we can't focus on those things, right? We got to make money, so you got to have a career. You have to do all the things to live and be an adult. But I think the things that bring you passion, you should pursue those. You know what I'm saying? And for me, one of them is like being in front of the camera, but this might turn into me being behind the camera and supporting or coaching or doing something with other people. So it's not a linear path to whatever your passion is. You might discover other passions within just not being afraid and just stepping out on faith.
So, how are you balancing the pressure to figure it all out with giving yourself grace in this season?
Um, it's a daily struggle. Listen, I be crashing out to myself, and then I'm like, all right, you're doing good. You got groceries downstairs, your bed is made, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think that for me currently, I don't feel like there is a lot of external pressure because it's just me. I Whether I eat or not, that's all on me. Whether I'm doing right or I'm not doing right, that's all on me. But I think for myself as a person, like I am more or less like of an overachiever, but I just recognize that there's so much value in what I'm going through. So I am giving myself grace. It sucks a lot, but there are also so many, like I said, wonderful things that are happening, and my village is showing up for me in a way that I don't even feel like I'm behind or missing out on anything. So yeah, that's what I would say.
When you picture yourself 5 years from now, what does a fulfilled life look like, and how is it different from the path you were on?
Ooh, that is that's a great question. I feel like I'll talk about how it differs first, and then I'll say what that looks like. Prior to now, I just always seen myself as a worker bee. I've always seen myself as like corporate 9 to 5, rest of my life, you know what I'm saying? Do my aid and skate or whatever that looked like, rise the ranks. Whereas now I see myself pursuing my passions, right? Using my voice, inspiring people, motivating people, connecting with people. I see myself um, having my own businesses that I am growing and nurturing, and having my own things that help to make me feel fulfilled, right? So um I have a lot of different talents. So I see myself pursuing those talents and growing businesses out of those and finding other ways to give back to others. That's what I see.
What role has community or lack of played in your reset? Did anyone surprise you in how they showed up or didn't?
Like I said, I feel like the podcast actually has been the place where I have been so surprised. And I've been so like grateful because there are so many people that have just like reached out to me, have watched just any of my videos. Anybody that has like liked any of my posts, reposted any of my reels, you know, commented on my YouTube, subscribed to my YouTube. That has been very impactful. But just like how many people will say, like, oh, I saw your latest episode, it was amazing. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know what really connects with people. You never know who cares. You never know who's actually interested or just are genuinely supporting you, even if it's not relevant to them. And I think that's what has stood out the most to me is like my friends and my family and just like other people actually taking their time to just like see what I'm talking about because this is like my passion. I'm doing it and it might not be relevant to them or they may not know what they're going to get from that conversation. But still just, listening and liking and just telling me like I watched it. That has meant probably the most to me because this is the biggest and the scariest and the heaviest dream that I have had for like 6 years now. I've been wanting to do this. So even though it's small, to be like, oh yeah, girl, I watched your podcast, that is like heavy. It's like really heavy. So that is the most, I would say, impactful way my community has shown up for me, and what has stuck with me the most. And it helps me to keep going because it's like, okay, I might get 20 views this week, but 20 people cared. You know what I'm saying? Or 20 people listened and, browsed and came back and, all those things. So that's very impactful.
How has starting over in your 30s changed the way you measure success?
Oh, I think that just knowing that you never gonna have it all figured out. I think that's what it is. And again, as I'm starting over and meeting people who have started over, have succeeded, had to start over again, just recognizing like life is it's a constant, you know what I'm saying, journey of failure and success. So I definitely don't think that success is linear. It's not just you get to be successful and then nothing ever happens, you never go back down or because once you get to this plateau, you want to climb somewhere else, but you just never know where life is going to take you. And I also don't feel like failures are permanent either, right? Unless you just sit there and you don't fight back. But I don't think that whatever I feel like success is right now in 5 years, I'm going to feel completely different. And my problems in 5 years going to be different than my problems right now. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I'm in a million. Um, but no, but I think that I'll always be chasing some measure of success, but just recognizing like it ain't attainable and it's always gonna be a setback for sure.
If you could go back and talk to your younger self at 25, what would you tell her about the journey ahead?
Girls, it's about to be crazy. No, I'm just playing. I think that I would tell myself at 25 that um God is going to hold your hand in a lot of different ways. He is going to stretch you. He is going to put you on the highest mountaintop, and then you're going to fall to the ground, and you're going to build yourself back up. And then at this point in life, you're going to fall off that mountain again, and it's a higher mountain. So, just that, yeah, you got the skills, you got everything, believe in yourself, and that stuff is going to carry us through. Yeah. All right. Well, thank y'all so much for listening to this episode. I hope that you got something important from this. Remember that we are all on a journey, it is not linear, and there's power in being vulnerable. That's why I love to take these moments to be vulnerable with you guys and